So, okay. Quick press conference. Let me just turn this up a little bit. All right, so let's see. First of all, NY Rory looks like he's chilling. Douglas seems like a very nice person. Family man Douglas. How's it going, Douglas? How are you? Let me see. How are the levels? Levels okay? Everybody doing all right? Seeger success. I wouldn't call it a success. I wouldn't call it a success, but they definitely found out about us. There's no doubt about that. And Bob's 80 years old. I was going to try to chirp at him a little bit to try to get him on, and then I thought maybe I'd fly to Detroit, see what happens there, just get to know him. And then I followed him on Instagram, and I realized that, he's like performed with Kid Rock multiple times. I think Bob's still a good guy. Don't get me wrong. I think Bob's a very good guy. But like, he's performed with Kid Rock like a lot. So if his people saw anything that I did, I don't know if I don't know if I'm getting Seeger is what I'm saying here. But still, don't buy a Chevrolet. Don't do it. Owen's alive. He's doing great. He said yes to that bit immediately, and he's the best. I don't know. I just found out about this guy. He's kind of like the bass player. Bald. He's definitely bald. I don't know anything about him other than the fact that he stands and he spells bass BEHS. So here's the press conference. Let's just talk about it for a second. Hold on 1 second here. Okay. A lot of people have asked me, what my whole take is on this thing. This fucking guy. This fucking guy with the backwards hat. I've seen this guy so much. I didn't know this guy. Didn't have him. Giacomo Turra. I did not have this guy. Was nowhere near it. I've seen this hat, this fucking backwards hat so much in the last week. And I thought that it was going to go away. It really hasn't gone away. I mean, Win came out with one today. Win just got in. I mean, Win, like they're all there. Everybody's put one out. There is not one of these. There's not one fucking YouTuber that hasn't put one out. They're all on it. Beato didn't want to comment on it. Beato, I didn't want to comment. I didn't want to comment on this. But he did, didn't he? This guy, Davey 504, bass player humor, been happening for a while. This guy, Jack Gardner, didn't have Jack Gardner, didn't have him. He's apparently one of the guys that this guy's ripped off. I'm new to this story. I mean, I've seen it. If I'm putting out one line on this, who cares? Who fucking cares? I mean, I get what they're saying. They're ripping off other people. Here, I've got one thing that I could potentially, possibly add to this, but they're all doing it. They're all in it. They all got a video out of it. I mean, they have to be happy. Everyone's gotten a video out of this. Savko is getting it. I mean, it's Savko. He's the one that's bringing it. But they're all getting videos on this. I mean, Music is Win just got in today. And he's pissed. Fucking Win is pissed. I'll put the Win video up. He's pissed. Cam, let's see. Okay, so Lazio, this is kind of what I'm doing with this. I'm trying to get everybody up with this press conference here. It doesn't. Who cares? Is the bottom line. What I'm seeing here is, I could be wrong, but from what I've gathered of this situation, we've got ourselves a Instagram Mostly Instagram. That's his main thing. He's an Instagram guitar player, which sounds great to begin with. Instagram guitar player that was ripping off other guitar players. That's what we've got going on here. But where I'm coming in on this story is that every YouTuber's getting a video out of it. I mean, they're picking from this fucking carcass, man. I mean, they're all in it. There's got to be. This is like when they were all quitting YouTube. Remember that? Like everybody was quitting YouTube. It's just like, this is why I'm quitting YouTube, and they all had their videos. So there's like fake guitar, and there's like the whole thing. Neely put out a 52-minute long video. Neely put out a big one. This is, I mean, you're not, I'm not making this up. This is every single fucking YouTuber has done a video. And then there's like side videos where like these two bass guys are suing each other. Savco Davey 504. They're doing that. I fell for that. I watched that, and I'm not against the bass guys. Don't get me wrong, but the bass humor, come on. How long have we been doing bass humor here? But I guess I do bass humor too. Can't really come at this, but like, let's talk about this Giacomo Turra guy. I mean, it's all Turra all the time. And I thought it was going to go away. It hasn't gone away. So I called this emergency press conference because people have been asking me for my take. Fuck, hold on. What happened to my horn? Oh, I'm so bad at this. Where's my horn? Where's my horn? There it is. So my whole take on this is that, yes, it is fucked up, obviously. I mean, I can't be the person that's put out multiple videos about how things just rip things off and it sucks. So I'm with you on that. I mean, but at the same time, if there's one thing I can add to this whole entire situation, which isn't much, I love the Beato. I didn't want to comment on this. He didn't want to. He just had to. Win is pissed. I want to show. We got to watch a little bit of this Win video. Win's pissed. Win's not having it. There's Win. He's pissed. So Win's going to break it down for you here.
But you haven't heard what I'm going to say about it, because I have a slightly unique perspective I think would be valuable, if nothing else, for some entertainment. Just for context, in April 2025, a guitar player named Giacomo Turra, he faced serious allegations of plagiarism. YouTuber Danny Sapko released a video accusing Turra of replicating.
There's Sapko, definitely bald. He's got an out-of-control hat on,
solos and arrangements from other musicians, including.
Guess I'll have to do a collab with him at some point. I mean, it looks like he's like the shorter version of me over there, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so
Jack Gardner, Alex Hutchins, and Jacob Collier, to name just a few.
All right, so Win's pissed. So now, for those of you who don't know this story, good for you. And also, let's just. This is the whole nuts of the whole thing. Okay. This is what it's all about here.
He then would profit off of these arrangements, stealing.
Hold on to your
probably something he didn't even remember. People's music that maybe he thought that they just forgot they made. In fact, Jack Gardner.
It does sound weirdly familiar.
Okay, so here's this guy, Jack Gardner. Now, I didn't have Gardner. Didn't have him.
Improvised something.
As I'm listening to the video, I was like, it does sound weirdly familiar, but I couldn't put it down to where. So I went back through.
This guy smoked a lot of cigarettes. And coming from one, I mean, this guy loves smoking. Listen to his voice. It's awesome.
My own YouTube channel and found a video from 2013.
He sounds like a Winston.
Back when I was like 20, was note for note the same as Giacomo's solo that he.
I got to watch it. I can't get around this guy because he definitely has 4 packs on him at all times. And I'll be tempted to get back into it. I quit. I'm reformed.
Posted.
Okay, so here's what I saw that prompted me to make this this. I'm not doing a fucking video. This is a live stream. It'll go on the Patreon. Who said that? After. That's it. That's it. I'm not doing a video on Giacomo Turra. I'm not doing a video on it. This is a live stream. And the reason why I'm doing a live stream is because a lot of people keep fucking asking me what my take is on this thing. And here it is. And I wasn't going to do it until I saw this. I watched the Win video that just came out.
Just an off-the-cuff improvisation because...
Okay, so let's go back to this. Now, there's two things happening here. One, that's Knock Me Down by Red Hot Chili Peppers. That's one off of Mother's Milk. Okay, so if we're really getting back into okay, so if you see me getting high, knock me down. So I need the guy who points at things to point at that for you. I don't have that right now. That's not the text. So that's Knock Me Down. Okay, so but that's not the most important thing here. And then there's that scale, which is a scale, and say harmonic minor, melodic minor, put them all the fucking minors together. There's probably some naturals in there, Beato, whatever. You know what I mean?
Just an off-the-cuff improvisation, because that's what incredible guitar players can do, is they just play things that other people would sell their souls to even be able to do. In response to this controversy, companies like D'Angelico and...
Okay, so people came in on Giacomo, right? So Giacomo's been getting dragged because he ripped this off. Now, I understand all of this, and it totally makes sense, and I feel bad for this fucking guy. If Giacomo is getting more views than this guy, right? Because this guy is the one that came up with the Knock Me Down and then into the harmonica solo, or harmonics, the harmonic solo, whatever it is. He's doing that, right? And I feel bad. I feel bad for all of the people, because a lot of this thing too is that he took from like these old videos. This guy was just like sourcing all of these old guitar people, all these smaller channels and smaller accounts, and taking their riffs and doing it. That's fucked up. That is. And plenty of videos have been made about that. That's not why I'm here holding this press conference. The reason why I'm holding this presser is that I had no idea that there are that many people that just want to fucking hear this.
It's like 20 my own, but I couldn't listen to the video. Giacomo.
Like that's working. You know what I mean? This guy's got like 700,000 Instagram followers. Like, you can't come up with your own that. Like, listen, you practice, but then there's like live performance of him, and he kind of stinks, right? But like, you can't just noodle around on a fucking scale. And I'm not saying that this guy, I'm not saying the blue guitar guy isn't good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that there's 700,000 people. You know what I mean? I mean, it's up-tempo hold music. So that's the press conference that I've got. Anybody else? Anybody else with me on that? And even if you can't play, like, even if you here's like, even the people that can play that, I don't necessarily need it. You know what I mean? But that's I'm listen. I think it's bullshit what Giacomo Turra has done. I just think that it's like, the bigger issue here is that there's an audience 700,000 deep for this, for the backwards hat guy that's not even playing. You know what I mean? That's where I have a problem with it. So that was issue number one. And then which obviously I've been dealing with a lot of these questions as well. And you know what? I have heard the news, and it's very sad. And I would ask that people stop sending me stuff that, jokes about it. The songs are always going to stink. That doesn't matter. The songs, I don't care what's going on. Those songs will always stink. But do I wish cancer on anybody? Absolutely not. So, you know, that's a bummer. The family, you know, all of that stuff, you know, that's not what I'm trying to do around these parts. The songs will always stink. That doesn't change, good or bad. You know what I mean? But I hate cancer more than I hate any bad song. So, you know, that's there as far as that goes. So in case you needed that. And then so that's one thing as well that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, that's it. That's it. If there's any other questions you have about the if I've been getting bombed about the tourist situation. And that's pretty much all I can say. Is that it's really this instrumental kind of fusion scene is way bigger than I thought it would be. Is way bigger than I thought it was. I think that's kind of like, you know, it's that's the biggest thing that I've seen here. But as far as like, and I'll say this, I said it earlier in this press conference. I think bass humor's got to take it easy a little bit. I think that you know, Davey 504 is milking that cow for a long time. And I think that I've watched a couple of his videos through the years, and I think that he's pretty funny. This Sapko guy, I don't mind him, you know, whatever. Spells it BEHS. I've gone on the record and said that I don't really care for the TOAN tone. So I'm gonna extend that right to the BEHS bass. But if that's something that's going on with his world, by all means. I have nothing against Mr. Sapko. I don't know much. I only know of this situation. That's right. That's absolutely right. That's what's most important. I mean, bass to me has always, and I've probably said this in the 100 live streams. Whenever I talk to a bass player, my first question to any bass player is always, "You're a bass player." That's my first question. It's not a question. I just say, "You're a bass player," and then they answer yes, and then I go, "That's a little weird." You know, that's a little weird. It's a little weird that you've chose to dedicate it all to the bass. And I'm not talking about bass players. I'm not talking about me playing bass like a guitar player playing bass or everybody. Everybody can kind of play bass. If you play guitar, it doesn't mean you're a bass player. When you become like a fucking bass player, like a really good bass player that can do the shit that people can't do, that's a lot of time playing the bass. And that's a little weird. Just that you could sit in a room and play those four strings. You know what I mean? Hopefully 4 strings. Hopefully. One more super chat to ask. What's the latest on Blinds to Go guy? Well, you got to ask him that. And you can do that at Volume XO. That's right. Volume XO. When I go to Blinds to Go guy, it's when I need him. You know, it's when I need guidance. It's when I need to be pointed in a direction. Other than that, I'm not rocking the boat. I'm not trying to get my we are listen, I'd do anything for him. Anything. But arm's length away. A couple blinds away. I keep awake. I don't want to know how the magic is conjured. You know what I mean? I get him on a live stream every now and then, but that's pretty much it. You can go to his Twitch account or you can go to his Instagram, Volume XO. He's gonna play. Yeah, I'm not saying that bass isn't fun. Of course, bass is fun. If you're sitting in a room, I mean, 10,000 hours on that thing. Come on. And I wish I could do the cool shit that all the bass play. Like, you know, when you get yourself a fucking bass player, holy shit, there's a difference. Back to No Secret, No Sale. GM is so afraid turn off the comments on a lot of videos. Ooh, I didn't know that. They turned off comments? That's exciting. No Secret, No Sale. I commented under the Instagram post that I saw. Jesus, that's all I said. Yeah, he's a travesty. I think it's the wrestling thing. I think he knows he's a heel. I'll use a wrestling term. I think he knows he's a heel, and I think he's playing it up. He has to be. That video. I can't talk about Billy Corgan anymore. He's everywhere, every day. He's posting more than Beato. Beato posts a lot. Was given a choice to play bass or guitar. I chose bass and have no regrets. Treadhead, I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did, Treadhead. We need bass players. I'm not saying, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird. That's all I'm saying. Do you commission work, and can it be Cars for Kids? Cars for Kids and I got a score to settle with Cars for Kids. That's gonna get video. That's been in the stink tank for a long time. In fact, I called WIP, the radio station, the sports radio station in Philadelphia, because Cars for Kids is on all the time. And they were like, call up 1-900 or 1-800-499-499 if you want to get in. We're talking about the best 5 coaches in the history of Philadelphia. Best 5 coaches. So I called up and they're like, listen, I don't have a coach to name right now, but I do have a song. Or worse, it was worst 5 coaches. And I called up and I said, listen, I don't have a coach, but I got a song. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, Cars for Kids. You guys got to wrap that thing up. They hung up on me. And then the guy's like, you can't talk about our sponsors like that. I'm like, well, the song stinks. I have it. I think I have it. I think I recorded it. I hope I did. Because like the whole thing with Cars for Kids is that, well, I don't want to give it away. If I do a video on this, do a video on it. Yes, very much so. Yeah, and you bass people can get together. Go ahead. Go on Reddit. You know what I mean? Bass. Our bass. I mean, I gotta go over to our bass. I did bass versus bass. We could do another round of that real quick. If you want. Let's see. And you would be shocked at the results on bass versus bass. So in case you don't know how to play, what you do is you Google bass. You Google BASS and you see who wins. And you're about to be shocked. I've played this game before. Now, unless the Google engine has changed, fucking bass is about to get rocked. Here it comes. You ready? Fucking top row, all bass, all fucking bass. Bass takes it. Bass fucking smokes bass. So bass has the first row. Now we get into bass. Now we're in the open. Now we're wide open. So it starts us off. First of all, bass fish, top line, bass guitar, second line. Now check it out. Now we're in the open. And look at fucking poor bass. I mean, this upright and that electric, it's not helping the fact that it's that it's fucking surrounded. Look at largemouth, smallmouth. They're everywhere. Shitty bass clef trying to come in. No way. The bass is fucking taking it out. Now bass fights back a little bit as you're scrolling. Just a little bit, though. I mean, look at these fish. They're everywhere. You would think Mike Gordon would pop up at some point. He doesn't. I should put on fish while we're listening to this, or while we're playing this, though. I should. But yeah, bass versus bass. You'd lose money if you took bass. It's not even fucking close. It's not. It's amazing. I mean, decent run right here with the Rick. That's a shape bass right there. I don't know what the hell this is. Emerald guitars. But yeah, it's not even close. That's a pretty gross one right there. That red bass, whatever the hell that thing is. I am a little bit I like to, you've watched my video. I believe in equality. I do. But if I do have one problem, it might be with a pick guardless bass. I think there's just on appearance alone. If there's one problem I have, it could be a pick guardless bass. There are fewer things to me that are less, that make me want to grab something less than a pick guardless bass. I struggle. But yeah, you're losing money if you're taking Bass over Bass. Bass is running with it, and it's not even fucking close. Look at Bass. It's smoking fucking Bass. Smoking Bass. Look at that. Look at that fucking fish. You got 2 bases there. You got 6 fish. 2 bases, 6 fish. It's a hot stream. Now it's a fucking hot stream.
You know I'm not dead.
We're fucking hot now. Hell yeah. Yeah, come on, dudes, with me. I'm with you. Come on, dude. So yeah, there was a couple other games too. What was it? That was Bass versus Bass. You could play it at home too if you want. You just Google BASS and see who wins in the Google image search. I live in Burlington, Vermont. Gordon sucks. Fish rule. Wow. Okay. You don't see that too often. Most of you fish fucks are in the bomb shelter, as I call it, because he's dropping Gordo bombs. Very surprised. You're going at your boy there. Here's a question for you, Orb. Wow. So you're telling me Orb within an orb is a fish fan? No. Orb within an orb. Let me ask you this. If who's taking his gig? I mean, say Gordon, has to take a leave of absence, can't make the gigs. Who's subbing in for him? Who are you bringing in? Orb within an orb. It's happening again. I'm slipping on these super chats. I don't know how it happened. Bass players are like goalies in hockey. That's a good analogy. Yeah. Listen, I'm not like coming at my line on bass players is that if you're going to dedicate I'd say, what's my line on drummers? If you can hear drums that much and get good and just hear drums every day for 7 hours, 8 hours of drums, just drums. I mean, there's like a little sociopathic. There's something in that. You know what I mean? I wish I could. I mean, just playing a scale for that long drives me crazy. And there's notes, not that there isn't notes and drums. Of course there is. Ron Blair or Howie Epstein, Pigeon Boy. I'm a Howie guy. And I love Ron. Don't get me wrong. Love Ron. Cool guy. He's Ron. But Howie's got those backups. Howie had those backups. Poor Howie. So yeah, I'm a Howie guy. I think he blended the best with Petty. Scott Thurston. He does great. But Howie singing Swinging with fucking Petty was awesome. I've seen a lot of bands with 3 guitars on stage. I'd pay good money to see a band with 3 bass players. Well, you could watch Bass Day with Victor Wooten. I think there was probably 15 bass players. You could watch a performance of Big Bottom, Spinal Tap. They had 3 bass players. Joe Dart's signature bass pick our list pretty sick. I don't know about that. $4.99. I'll send that money right back. I'll send that fucking money right back, Connor Mills. But let me make sure. It's not a bad looking bass. It's all right. I know. I'm sending the money back. It's not terrible. It's just I need a pick guard. It looks great with the podium though. Looks great. The bass looks great with the podium. That's why you come here. That's the difference over on this channel. You get boycotts against General Motors, and you get a bass giving a fucking press conference.
What do you got?
Let's see what else we got. The bassist in my band loves RHC. Of course he does. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, it's like, does a car like an engine? You know what I mean? Can't really blame him. You can. You can. But it could be worse. Could be Peanut. Peanut could be his guy. Frank Reynolds. Love Frank Reynolds. He's got Danny in there. The redeeming thing about Fish, the reason I can listen to them is that they don't take themselves too seriously. Fans can be irritating though. Well, that's the reason why I'm around. It's just I love watching watch the fans just chirp chirp at each other over like, they're sick of fucking chalk dust torture. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, if I hear one more chalk dust torture, and they're like, what do you mean? Chalk dust torture is a great vehicle, jam vehicle. Like not every song isn't a jam vehicle. I'd get offended as a bassist, but we have to account Billy Sheehan's awkward Scientology forward among us. Yeah, you're bringing the Sheehan, the New York, Buffalo, Billy Sheehan. I think Buffalo. Let's find out together. Yep, Buffalo. Oh my God. Why the fuck do I know he's from Buffalo? I say this all the time. There's so much I don't know. There is so much I don't know. Man, fuck, I'm just trying to figure it out, man. I'm just trying to figure some stuff out. I mean, you got to see me trying to move around a toilet, like not use it, but like fix it, and I've done some moves. I've changed out a flapper. But like, yeah, Billy Sheehan, bass player from fucking Winery Dogs. Mr. Big is from Buffalo. Go Bills. Go fucking Bills. All right, what else? Hot Stream.
The world is a vampire.
Czechia. Nice. Hell yeah. That Czech currency looks great. I got to get out there. Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go. I feel like those days were hot when like Facebook was really happening and people are like, hey, just like I need recommendations. Like now you can easily just Google, of course, but like people just want to tell you that they're going to San Francisco. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if anybody knows any places in San Francisco, it's like, I'm going to San Francisco. But yeah, check. Let me know what to do there. Think you could squeeze an August is Falling set at Not a Phase Fest in Sioux Falls, South? I absolutely would, Frosty. Absolutely would. Thanks for the sawbuck. Had to dust off the tunes. It's been a couple days. I'm a little pissed, to be honest with you. I mean, you tell me one fuck. I mean, I can't really blame him, I guess, seeing that I am kind of making fun of the whole genre. But like somebody from the Warped Tour, which is getting back together, by the way. There's a Warped Tour this summer. Not one person was like, hey, let's throw August is Falling on there. Like there's enough people. It'll get some frownies out to the show. It'll give them a 20-minute set. You telling me they can't get not one person from the Warped Tour has seen any of the bullshit? Not one? That's fucked up. Yeah, I would, Frosty. P-Bass. Pearl Jam, Until Yield. P-Bass, Pearl Jam, Vitology through Yield. That's what I wanted. That's what I'd put on. Love a P-Bass. Tesh has 3 more keyboard players with him at all times on stage. Well, if we're bringing it to John Tesh, and thank you, Chris, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, basically what like Turra is ripping off is just like John Tesh guitar players that are just playing basically the inside the NBA or like the NBA song. I mean, pick a scale, put some changes down, rip. Just pick a scale, do some fucking arpeggios. You know what I mean? You got to rip off other people's scales and arpeggios. There's nothing wrong with Pino. Pino's awesome. I love bass. I love bass. It doesn't change the fact that it's a little weird if you're good at it. You know what I mean? That there's nothing. They're separate things. They're exclusive. They're exclusive. Mr. Finner, you're familiar with the Proto Men? I'm not. Getster 49. I'm sorry about that. Wasted $2 down the river. I'll take it though. I'll take it. Oh, yeah. Hit the wrong one. Don't know the Proto Men. Also, not going to check them out. I can't give you that guarantee. I'm not checking out the Proto Men. Not right now, at least. I might. Who knows? I might. I probably won't. How many times have we all lied about things we're going to check out? How many times? I had an idea. You could steal it if you want, or don't. Be a good person. But if you wanted to, I had an idea when everybody was like, when the app invasion was happening, where it was like an app called Dude, Check It Out. Or dude, you got to check it out. Where it's like, you know, because you're talking to somebody and they're like, hey man, you got to check out my new video. And they're like, yeah. Or like, hey man, you got to check out my album. You're like, yeah. Or like, hey man, you got to check out this movie. Like I saw the other day. Yeah. Like, hey man, you got to check out this show. Like, oh, have you seen this show? Yeah, you got to check it out. So it's like, it would be an app that's connected to somehow, I don't know exactly how it would work, how the wireframing would work, but you would, the person would have the, like, they would say like, all right, well, if you're going to check it out, like I'll share it with you on Dude, Check It Out. And then that person could then be notified when it is in fact checked out. So then that would help you to check it out. Or you'd be, you know, you'd run into them at the supermarket and you'd be like, fuck, I haven't checked out, you know, I haven't checked out Fire Country yet. You know what I mean? This guy's going to be chirping at me about fucking Fire Country now. But I told him I was going to check it out. So, you know, if you want to take that, get me in though, you know. Pat, where's the hat from? I want one. Okay, so this hat is actually going to be the prototype. I don't know what this is. I was looking up a company that's going to make the new ball to shit hats. So the new ball to shit hats are going to be rope version and snapback in the back, which is going to be nice. Probably still another 5-6 weeks until I get them, and then I'll put them in the superstore and get them out there. They're going to be black, just black corduroy ball to shit. And then for the non-balls, I might just do like a what makes the song stink, like dad hat, you know, which is fine. It doesn't, dad hats don't fit me as well. But I'll probably do that in the superstore. But this company is called Snag, SASNAG. Tight 3 minutes, Midnight Rider, or Jimmy 12-minute version. EBB or okay. Well, I'm taking Allman Brothers, but with trucks because the songs are better. I mean, we could all say that, right? Nobody's ever told me like, hey man, you got to check out that Trucks Tedeschi song. You know, Mary's Cabin. You know, I've never, I can't even name one. But that's just a lot of people waiting for minute 3. You know what I mean? Not to say that Susan can't throw down a nice song. She's a good singer, but like, you know, you're just waiting for that solo, and then the next solo. Midnight Rider. I mean, it all depends. They're jamming out like you got a long whipping post, you got a long one way out, you got a long Statesboro. So I could just do I could do a regular Midnight Rider. Good question. Is there a bass bass? That's a great question. Cool Breeze. There has to be bass. There's a shark guitar. Langen has a shark guitar. Bass, fish, bass. It's a tough Google. How would you Google it? Bass guitar, largemouth, bass guitar, bass, fish. Yeah. I don't know if this is real. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Hot stream. There it is. He made a bass guitar. It's like out of the Take Me to the River. Billy the Bass. Good question. Almighty Mill Pill 15. I need to know when you're going to voice your displeasure with Collective Soul. I mean, I do it every day. I'm sure there's a video somewhere down the pipeline, but I need some closure. Those yeahs don't leave my mind. Yeah, same. You know, in the last little stinker, when I was showing how you have to sign under the comment, I signed Will Turpin, the bass player of Collective Soul. I mean, what else do you want me to do here? If there's one video that's coming, it's going to be for December. I loathe December. I have a really, really tough time with December. Really tough time with December. There's been a Collective Soul song or joke in every video I've made, I think. There's been at least a yeah. Slash was listening to Slash when I forget what video it was, but I had Slash in a Jiffy Lube and I put in December. I had Down and Out Slash sitting in there taking it December. That song stinks. I don't enjoy it on any level. It's the evil version of Steal My Sunshine. Steal My Sunshine is like that's the light. You know what I mean? LFO, the song, starts naming things. Abercrombie and Fitch is in it. Drew Glale, my son chose bass, and now he is an active headless 5-string fan fretted Ibanez. I mean, it's a slippery slope. And you know what? It's pretty weird. Yeah, it is. It is. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's the thing with being a bass player. It's like when you just keep going, if 4 strings isn't enough for you, you're just like, give me that 5 and then give me that shape bass, give me that Warwick. And the next thing you know, you're Tai Zamuda, you know, where it's like the obviously guitar could take you in a lot of bad places, but I mean, like, bass. This is where bass can land you. Talk about a slippery slope. You know? So, like, you really got to watch out. That's not a bad looking bass. That's the best bass I've ever seen this guy play. I've Googled him so much. That's where bass can get you. So you got to be careful. Thoughts on Coldplay's manager being an official member of the band? You fucking kidding me? That's news. All right, we're learning stuff here too. Hold on 1 second. Can you imagine if Alan Niven got to be in the band, was an official member of Guns N' Roses? Coldplay manager. You guys know about Alan Niven? Phil Harvey. Alan Niven was the Guns N' Roses manager for like Appetite for Destruction. And he's still working through it. He's still, they fired him like in 1991. He's still working through it. They were my fucking band. I was the one. And then Doug fucking Goldstein tries to take my job. He was the tour manager. The tour manager. He was my employee. And what have they fucking done since I left? A fucking shit cover album of punk covers and a solo album. That's Alan Niven. He's fucking pissed. Coldplay settles lawsuit with ex-manager. The development concludes a legal battle that's been going on for several years. Is this what you're talking about? That was behind a paywall, so I don't know exactly what's going on here. Reached settlement. I just see a settlement that they sued they had to pay their former manager. The band have reportedly agreed to pay a 7-figure sum to Dave Holmes, not from MTV. That's too bad. After he sued them following his 2022 dismissal. Yeah, there's an article. You guys got anything on that? Man, do I just love picking some fucking... Good point. It's a good fucking point, Peter. That's a good point. Talking a lot about bass. This was just me kind of like getting my Giacomo Turra. I don't really care. But the fact that every YouTuber got a video out of it, that's really the story as far as I'm concerned. Multiple videos, actually. So a lot of C word came out of that. And I'm not talking about the 4-letter C word. I'm talking about the 5, 6-letter. How many parts is that? 7-letter content, you know. And we've talked a lot about bass. That's pretty much it. Let's see. Probably be wrapping up kind of soon, actually. I'm just trying to go through a couple other ones. You know how I like to try to get through. Keep slipping on these super chats. Thoughts on Royal Blood and their use of bass? You know, it doesn't matter. I would need to listen to that. Let's find out. It's time to go to Glastonbury. Glastonbury cancels you out real quick, though. Yeah, I can't do it. They'll shut you down. I don't really care about copyright kind of stuff, but I mean, I get so many of them that I really do have to watch sometimes. Yeah, I covered it before. It's in the early part of the stream. You know, I'm not gonna really touch that, and I really appreciate that people, you know, understand that I know that I'm aware, but I do think that it is a sad situation. But I go on the record to say it's a sad situation, but the songs still stink. Okay, everyone needs to listen to the entire Len albums. Yeah, toast. You know, they're up there. They're up there. Canadian Mount Rushmore, as far as I'm concerned. Canadian Mount Rushmore. I've been in a classic rock concert with no original members, like Isn't Fog. I've been to I saw Foreigner because they were playing with Styx. I got a free ticket. This was in Scranton, probably like 15 years ago, maybe 10 years ago. And I'm a Foreigner guy. Out of all of the bands, give me Foreigner. I could laugh at them more than every other band, and I could also kind of get into all of them a little bit more. Cold as Ice, keep it coming, you know. Scumbag Beatles, Scumbag Abbey Road is Cold as Ice. So what was I saying? All right, so I went to see them. I was in the lawn, so it wasn't very close, but I was close enough. I was like, or maybe I was in the back row of like the seats at an amphitheater. No, I was in the seats, but like kind of far back where I could see them. I was mostly looking at the stage, not so much the screens. And there was like 6 people on stage, and most of them look like 42, which is where the young guy in the band, they know where to find the 42-year-olds. That make it like they could almost be original members, but they're slightly they want 56-year-olds that are actually 70, that look like they're 70. That's really what it is. So they played like 4 songs. They come out with Double Vision, and Mick Jones is the only guy, right? Mick Jones, the only guy in Foreigner that I knew that was going to be there. Lou Gramm, of course, hasn't played with the band. This is like before the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. And 4 or 5 songs into it, the lead singer starts talking to the crowd and goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, we have something very important to announce. We have a very special guest with us tonight." And I was like, "Holy shit, is Lou fucking Gramm here? I'm getting Lou Gramm? That's amazing." The one who started it all, the guy behind the whole entire thing, ladies and gentlemen, Mick Jones. So then Mick Jones came out. So Mick Jones, they had another old guy that looked like Mick Jones. And I thought it was Mick Jones because nobody really knows. And then so then I realized that I was just watching a tribute band. Mick Jones played like 3 songs, and now Mick Jones doesn't even play 3 songs. He's not even with it. You know, I mean, he's not doing well. Does that answer that question? Frame game soon. We'll do a frame game soon, Jeff. The fish people really want one, but I don't know. We'll see. I did promise it. We might do a fish one. It's gonna be rough. I'd say soon though. What's the best text from a parent asking you who a musician is? I got one an hour ago from my mom asking who Jim and Lettuce are because they're having lunch with Dave Chappelle. That's a really good one. Trying to think. I'm convinced my dad will still think those. My dad still throws the Spin Doctors out like they're new. And if he was watching this, he might be. He'd be like, "Yep, good new band." He was very happy with that album when it came out. Good guitar player. I remember that. They're still kind of new. But my mom still listens to. There's a alternative radio, the college radio station in Scranton, BMFM. And my mom still listens to that every day. She'll text me every now and then. She'll be like, "This kind of sounds like Wilco." My mom's on it. There's a lot of Tweeties, a lot of Tweety birds out there. She'll be like, "Is this Wilco or is it a ripoff?" And I'll be like, "Ripoff." But that's a good line. Speaking of bass, I could stop it right there. Should I drive up to Kenzo for practice tonight? I'm in West and I'm beat. Oh man, that's really tough. So let me just give you the situation right now. This gentleman is in West Philly, and West Philly is across the river, and it's kind of not near anything. And the joke is that when you live in West Philly, is that, oh, you're going home? What time's your flight leave? That's the joke, because West Philly's so far away. But West Philly and Kensington are about as far away as you can get as far as like Philadelphia goes. If you're beat, here's the thing though. If your band is still going to practice, you have to go. Because I personally cannot suffer one more baseless practice. I can't do it. There's far things that are less satisfying in this world than when the bass player doesn't show up to practice and you don't have it. That is you have to go. If you were a guitar player, if you're one of two guitar players, I tell you didn't have to. But if you're the bass player or the drummer, you have to go to rehearsal, James. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that, Jimmy, but you got to go. Get on 76 and it's going to blow. That was a thought, Scott. That was an absolute thought. I am thinking about doing that. It'd be a great one. Let's do it, actually. I think that might be the next one. I think we got to do crew. Just started on electric, played acoustic for a bit. What's pedal or effect that just sounds like crap that I should avoid? There's a lot of them. Tones in the hands, bro. Tones in the hands, man. You give the greatest guitar player the shittiest pedal, he's going to make it sound good. You can give the worst guitar player the best pedal, he's going to sound like shit. So, tones in your hands, bro. Like I've seen people play with the fucking metal, like the Mayhem pedal, like, or what's the Digitech heaviest fucking metal distort. It could sound awesome if the right people are playing it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Metal Zone. All right, that's it. I think we did a nice one. Stream got hot and talked about Turra. Stop asking, please. Stop asking. But yeah, I mean, we had to talk about it. And if there's any news as far as No Secret, No Sale, I'll be the first one to get up behind the podium again. Thanks everybody for the super chats. Appreciate that. And I think that's pretty much it. So until the next time. That wasn't the one I wanted. I'll take it.